So, what would have been your experience of libraries before coming to college?
Probably none, just using public libraries and that. I spent a while in college back in early or 1999, and wouldn't have used libraries at all. Maybe just the odd time to get a book that a lecturer recommended or something, but nothing really beyond that.
So what did you find probably, I suppose, most daunting about using the library the first time you came into like our library?
Um, Probably the selection is a bit daunting, like and finding what you want. When I first went in, I probably wasn't aware of the online search tool to go in and look like that will point you in the direction to where you want to go in your looking for whatever it is you want. That was probably a big issue. Learning how to use that online tool, like I don't recall getting any training in it when we first came in, and as a mature student as well, probably the whole technological phobia that was would have been prominent with me anyway, and I'm sure with lots of others mature students, that they wouldn't have been maybe as au fait with the process as maybe younger students.
So, what did you find to be the most difficult aspect of using the library? Would it be just kind of finding material you need, or?
Yeah, finding material I needed. Probably then later on would have been finding journals and accessing journals that would have been relevant to the course I was studying. Like when I learned to use the online search tool and that, it would bring up lots of journals fine, but the access to them was kind of restricted. You could access some, you couldn't access others, and I found that quite a bit annoying, and so you were very narrow or restricted in what you could use. So that was kind of restrictive for me for research, doing a research project or anything like that. So yeah, that was one thing that was.
So some kind of tool maybe that give you an idea of what to expect before you launch into the searches might have been helpful.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like knowing what you had access to instead of just accessing abstracts, that you had full access to a whole research paper instead of just being able to look at the abstract. Now I know it says full PDF and just abstract on some of the things, but it can take a while. The annoyance of having to go through that and then go through a process where, grant you're hitting something and you found something you want and then that it's not there is quite frustrating. Probably one thing that might have helped would be preferred reading lists given by lecturers, which I don't think we ever received. That for each year that maybe each year that a set reading list will go up relating to different subjects. I think that'd be very helpful. Like, and again, like from that, if you learn how to use your online library or your online guide to find those reading lists, and that it tails off into other areas, that there's a kind of a flow, that if you're taking a book on health and fitness, that there might be links to that again that you'd see coming up close to it that would be related to performance training or diet or something like that,
So something that kind of helps lay the trail out a little bit
Yeah.
for you to follow.
Yeah.
Okay. We've heard before about kind of library jargon or terminology or codes or stuff that people find difficulty with that. I mean, was that a problem for yourself? Like, I don't know, something is.
Not really. I suppose the only thing that I would have had problem with would have been like the difference between journals, and like before I came to college I'd never heard of academic journals, or that, well, I've obviously had heard of them but never had seen them before, or that between journals, textbooks, online journals and things like that, and that maybe would have caused a small bit of confusion, but it wasn't a major thing for me.
Okay. So would you, I suppose, do you have any other suggestions about what we could be doing in terms of providing support for students online before they come to the library?
Probably that main thing would be the lecturers. Like if you talk to any lecturer, off the top of their head they would give you 10 things or 10 books that they could read, or 10 journal articles that they would have referenced themselves, maybe in developing a course or developing course content. And I think if they can share that with students, it would be a huge help. Like to like, I know obviously not every student is going to look at it, but definitely those who want to progress and who want to do a bit more will use it, and will use it well, and probably it kind of builds up that, like from your first year. I know in your final year you normally do a research project, but it builds up that kind of process in doing your own research, and build it up gradually up until the point that you have to take it seriously as an academic project. Like.